Hello, it's Susan at Seaside Stitches and welcome to my channel. Thank you ever so much for joining me. And I'll just explain what I'm wearing, but this is my Friday sews on about the 23rd of May. I'm still doing Me Made May and I'll talk to you about that in a little while. And I'm also just going to catch you up in what I have been attempting to make and just plodding along with, really. And then a little bit of chat about how I am, and I think you'll see, if you've seen me before, I seem a bit more buoyant, and I am a bit more buoyant. So let's start with what I'm wearing, and this is quite an old make. We came here in 2015 and I brought this with me. There'll be a bit of editing because I've still got my cough. So if I'm jumping about, it's because I've just had a need to take that off. So that is the M6028. And I will pop in a picture of me wearing it. I've just taken one for day 23 of Me Made May to put on Instagram. So, as I say, and you'll see the different sections of it on the picture. And when I did make it, it wasn't quite right here, and I'm very shallow here. And I tried many things, and the thing that I did try that worked in a way was to take a lot in up here, but what it's left me with are drag lines here. So I don't wear this dress very often anyway, but it is a nice dress. It feels smart. It feels a smart dress, and when I'm walking about and doing things, you're not really aware of this, and it helps it fit other places, so I'm fine with it. I'm just wearing it with a ready-made cardigan. That's it. So happy Friday sews. I'd like to thank Jen from her channel is Today in Jen's Sewing Room. She devised this hashtag. I'm going to call this Sew April Sew. Jen devised the hashtag Friday Sews, and generally the format is that we talk about what sewing we've been doing, what sewing we would like to do, and share a little bit about life. So here I go. So this week I have been still doing my Me Made May, so that means every day I've posted on Instagram only, and then at the end of 7 days I put out a video, so now I've just done week 3. It may have gone out on Wednesday night, I'm not quite sure. It may have gone out late on the 21st. So today is the 23rd, so that's the 23rd make that I've put on Instagram, or will have done by the time you see this. And a lot of my things are dresses, because I have a lot of dresses. I'm definitely a dress wearer, and I don't necessarily have a summer and winter wardrobe. I wear what I feel I'd like to wear that day. And most of my summer dresses, if you like, summery dresses, have long sleeves anyway. I don't go in the sun very much, and I am going to do another vlog at sometime this weekend, or possibly for next weekend, about staying safe in the sun. So I'll put up artwork about that just to explain what it's called, because I know I'll get it wrong, but it's set up by Lucy, who is the sewing gardener on Instagram and has now just begun to vlog on YouTube, mostly because she wants to promote this. May is the month of promoting awareness for melanoma generally. When I know what the artwork is, I'll just pop a thing in, but I'm doing a separate video for it. So I'm just mentioning that I have a history of managing to stay out of the sun as a very high goal. Okay, so what I was saying was, even if it's the height of summer, I'm quite happy to be covered up, and some of my dresses just help me do that. Okay, so that's that bit. So I did mention last week, if you were with me last week, thank you very much. If you've not been before, welcome to my channel. And last week I was talking about I had tried to make a bodice block and then turn it into a 3D block, a 3D garment to work from. And I'd said, the fabric, this fabulous weird fabric, was from the sewing table at the swaps table at the Northwest Sewing Social that is run by Christine, the Gemini Stitcher. And this was one of the first weeks that I went, I think, and I picked this up. and I've been stuck for what to wear with it, what to use it for. I didn't just want to keep it for a pair of curtains or something like that. And I love the freshness of it, but obviously, or maybe not obviously to you, but you do have potential issues with the pattern placement. So it's just something else to think about. So I put in a mock zip. Well, it was a zip, but it's just to test. I got the front a really nice fit after 2 goes, doing it a bit too small. I've got darts I can take in or let out. That's why I chose this pattern. The back does not fit me. It's so weird. It's got a big hump here. And I realised after speaking to you last week, why on earth would I mess about with a back from something else that I'm trying to hone into a back that will fit me, when I have dresses that the back fits me very well on that bodice from that pattern. So I'm going to change my tack and find the bodices from the patterns that I really like, that really fit me well on the back. I'm not talking at the I do have a need for sway back adjustments lower down. I'm not really into that at the moment. I'm just talking about getting it a back fit, a good fit over my shoulders. So I've still room to move, but it's not crazy baggy and not baggy at the back of the neck. So I'm going to be working on that, but probably not till next week, maybe later next week. I'm not in any rush to do this, but I have got a dress that I really want to make, and I'm not making it until I've got a sound bodice shape that I know I will overlay my shape onto their bodice pattern, because I've heard and I've seen that it's quite squishy in the bust. It's a bit short here or a bit long there or whatever, and I would like not to have to alter that. I don't want to keep having to alter a pattern every time I start something new. So if I've got something that I know fits me, I can use that block to work with that pattern. So the designs of that, where the darts are, all that kind of thing, I can impose, what's that word? Impose isn't the right word. I can be inspired by the pattern itself from the designer, but I can impose my fit onto that, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's my plan for this. And then I have had a little adventure. I've been keeping this quiet because there's one person that I really was hoping not to show this to until I've actually finished it. But it's just going on, and I just wanted to share it with you. So, and that is, I'm attempting to make the Style Arc bell dress, but only in a toile. Now, that might sound a bit strange, but I have had this fabric for it for at least 3 years, and totally inspired by Alison at So Like Dotty in the wonderful bell dress that she made in different shades of gingham, different colourways of gingham. She colour blocked it, and when I saw it hanging up on her door, and I was really interested in it then. But then I saw her wearing it, and it was she was doing a weekend where there was some event that she was going to, and she put that dress on. I don't think she wore it for the actual event, but she wore that in the hotel room and took some photos, and she looked so beautiful in it. I was absolutely moved to tears, and my phrase for that is, my eyes smiled tears when I saw her in that. And I just thought how lovely she looked with that composition of the bell dress, which really suits her anyway, but in that kind of the way she'd made it in the gingham. So I've been inspired to do that and had several pieces of gingham. But obviously, when I bought the gingham, I just bought 1 metre of each. Well, not obviously, but what I had done was only buy 1 metre of each. And I hadn't realised either that it is a rectangle rather than a square, if you understand what I mean. That it gives the impression of having to be that way, and that there is a longer than wider length to the square. I know what I mean. But if I turned a piece on its side, I think it would not look the same. So anyway, I'm not bothered about that. I'm short because I couldn't do the widest piece because I only use poly cotton and it's only so much wide, and it's about 40 or 42 wide, and so I couldn't get the arc of the skirt. I couldn't get very much depth to it because as it flared out to the sides, I didn't have any more sides for it to flare out to, if you know what I mean, with the perimeter of the selvage to selvage. So what I've done is I've been canny about, I've just put on the length I could manage because it's just a toile in this, but I wanted to see what the effect was on me and whether I could make it, because for some reason I've been really blocked about it because I've been wanting to make it all that time, which is a good couple of years. And I kept thinking it was so difficult. And other people were saying, well, the pattern doesn't give you the proper instructions. And Alison has done her own hack with it. She does a different thing with the bodice and stuff. But anyway, I've even watched over and over, I've watched a sew along on this. So happy. She doesn't introduce herself by a name, but her handle is So Happy, and she demonstrates sew-alongs for so many garments, and she's just pristine in her explanation and in the way she sews it. And I'm very inspired by her, and there's quite a few things that I've got patterns for, and I think, well, I'll make it now. I've seen her do that, but I haven't done yet. So I watched that, and there's also someone else whose handle I'll put down below, down in the description box. It looks to all intents and purposes that it's a style arc video, but I don't think it is. It's just, it says style arc bell dress on it, but the person I don't think is linked to style arc, and they just make up the bodice fully, and so you don't get the idea of how you insert the skirt, which is on the So Happy YouTube video. Yes. Anyway, last week I was watching Andy from Andy Sews, and I haven't seen her. She'd been off for several months. She'd not been vlogging at all, and I was really happy to see her back. And I'd hoped to have met her at Plymouth Frocktails when I went, but she wasn't there because she lives down Cornwall, and she wasn't there. But I watched her recent vlog, which was recent to me, probably last week. And she'd made a number of things, but she was also partway through a bell dress. And she was at the same stage as I am with this mock-up, but she was doing it properly. And if I follow... Right. So on So Happy, she does it the way the pattern tells you. So you don't join your side seams, right? So you then add your front skirt to this bodice. There's a really clever way of doing it, very simple. It hides everything. And I didn't want to go down that route. I wanted to know, would this bodice actually fit me? So I've just run up the side seams to get an idea of whether the bodice would fit me in this size. I can't remember if I think I've graded. I don't know what I've done for. But as I tried it on, I'm pleased I did that. As I tried it on, I've got some bagginess here. And once all this is finished with a burrito and everything, you can't just get in and adjust your stitches, your gathering along here. It could be done, but I'm going to end up putting a little dart in or something, which is fine because it's a toile and I'll know next time. And that's why I'm often reluctant to making a toile, but I'm quite happy about doing it this way. So also I've got the placket is ready to sew up, and on both sides, and then I can loosen this side here, and I can just attach this. I can undo this and attach this as it should be, and then sew it back together. If you don't understand, I understand why you don't understand. I'm not explaining it very well, but I'm really pleased with the look of it. It pleases me just in the colourway. And whether I do it in gingham when I do a real one, I don't know. But I kind of wanted just to produce it and put it on something and just tag Alison and say, look, I've done it. I've finally done it, because I've followed her on each one and said, I've still not started one. I'm going to start one, and you've inspired me again. And then last time, a few weeks ago, I did say I have got the pieces on the table that I'd already cut out. And she said, but I've not started it yet. And she put, but at least that's progress, Susan. So I would have liked to have gone, ta-da! But I can't. So instead of moving it from side to side, if I'm ever videoing, I just thought I'd come up with, I'd fess up and say, look, this is what I've been working on. So there's that. And then for Plymouth Frocktails, I wanted to give myself some tidy cosmetic bags and just general toiletry bags, etc., because mine were absolutely disgraceful. I'd done for years and just awful. Not that I'd made them. Anyway, I had made this in plenty of time. I was altering my dress and making a bag to go with it, but I had all this one was all in the pieces, all cut out ready, all with the labels on, knowing exactly what they were for, etc., etc. And yesterday or the day before, I just decided I feel like sewing. I shall get on with one of the things that is outstanding, because I'm really trying not to start anything new until I've cleared away some of my whips. Now, some of you also know that we have been preparing our house to sell, and we now have the board up. We're officially on the market. So I have to be within 2 hours. That's what we're setting ourselves. We need to be in 2 hours of getting it as straight as possible everywhere if someone rings up for a viewing. Some of my time is just taken up, just pottering, making sure everywhere is wiped down, is hoovered, is this needs to go there, that needs to go there, or I know where that needs to go. And in here, it's not quite that simple, is it, when we start a little project? So I have several little projects, and I had got this ready to take with me to the sewing social on Wednesday. And I couldn't go to the last one. And I couldn't go to the gathering because I think I've mentioned on some of my vlogs that we have had, we've lost a member of our family, and of my wider family, a very significant member of our family, and I've not really been up to concentrating, etc., etc. But also I've been on some blood pressure medication, and that has taken its toll in that I haven't been feeling myself at all. So with the two things combined, I have just had to be very kind to myself and only do what I can manage. And that's how I'm living at the moment, in managing what I can manage. So my videos are quite small or quite low in extra content, and I hope you're fine with that, but that's the only way I can manage to get them out. And unless I've got the impetus to want to make one, then I've not been making one. So, but I couldn't actually, I did book the place for Wednesday, and I overwhelmed myself in the thought of actually going, and I couldn't actually manage to go. So that was okay. I felt a bit like I've let people down, but that's just how I am. And no one was relying on me being there, and I haven't really done anything that, you know, would cause anyone any distress. I just feel like I just couldn't go, and I allowed myself not to have to go. And I set myself just a little kind of sewing day session. So I used the day as well as I could as a sewing social, but I just sewed on my own. And that was fine. I felt, at least I was concentrating on sewing until I couldn't concentrate. Then I would have a brew, or I would get some lunch or whatever. And I could have done that there, but I didn't manage it anyway. But I'm not seeing it as a negative. I'm seeing it as a positive, that I managed to look after myself, not put myself through up to an hour's drive there and back. And actually, I started to fade quite badly in the afternoon, about 2 o'clock here. So I would have had to, at some point, find some energy to actually drive myself home again on the motorway. So I'm pleased I did the right thing. But sometimes it's hard, isn't it? We battle with ourselves and what we should do, what we think we should do, what you think people expect of you. and no one expects anything of me over there. It's a lovely, relaxed group, and they're pleased if you go, and if you don't go, well, they'd send you love anyway, you know what I mean? Right, so that's that bit. And then the other thing I have been working on, and I have been vlogging every week for the last 3 weeks on rounding up these Me Made May sessions. So so that has taken some energy as well, doing the editing, doing the just walking about and saying hi on the video, etc., etc., having a bit of thought to what I'm going to wear, what jumps out at me at the wardrobe, what I've got left, because it's the 23rd day, and so far I haven't repeated. I mean, I've repeated a different skirt with the same skirt with a top that I've not put up, if you know what I mean. And I still do have other things to get me through, but I don't want to wear something that I'm not really interested in or proud of, and that's helpful, because I'm looking into my wardrobe and looking at, that's another thing that I'm doing, looking through, and why am I keeping this? I don't wear it. Do I want to wear it? Will I ever wear it again? And doing all that kind of thing and working out. I'm going to talk about that on another video at the end of Me Made May. So as I kind of close down, I think there's a couple of days left, isn't there, after the 7 days? I can't quite remember. I don't want to do my head in actually thinking. But at the end of May, early June, I want to put together just what else I've learned about, keep looking in my wardrobe and making choices, and what else can I get rid of, because we can't take everything with us because we're going into a smaller place. Anyway, I think I'm going to close down here and say thank you very much for watching. I really am appreciative, and I just feel thank you for being there for me to talk to. And I do hope you get something from the content. And oh, by the way, this is it's a Buy Annie bag. I am a Buy Annie bag fan. And yes, here we have the catch-all caddy and little teddy. My mum called Harold after her husband, my dad, and he sits with us on our videos, whether he's in the picture or not. Yes, so it's a Buy Annie pattern. It's called Open Wide because, guess what? It opens wide. And there's a set of 3, the large, the medium and the small. I've made the full set before, but the little one is a bit fiddly, and I don't know that it's worth the effort of making it. I may still do the little one, I don't know, but it's not on my plans at the moment. I've got this side on, I think I said, and then I have to bind that next, and then put the other side on, which is here, and then attach that, and then put that binding on, and then put the zip bind the zip on. So it's not far off finished, really. She says, hopefully. Okay, thank you again for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm really trying to get to 1,500 by my 5th anniversary on YouTube, which is October, and I've got 1,444 at the moment. Every time I say that, I lose some, because some people don't like it to be totted up. Anyway, never mind. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you, Jen. Today is Jen's sewing room. And thank you everyone else who is videoing under the hashtag Friday Sews. Bye for now. Susan at Seaside Stitches signing off. I hope this is videoed.